Hi, Natasha. Okay, I'm going to walk you through and show you how I can assign a particular chapter to the homework list. Okay? Now, the first thing we're going to go through is one. So I'm going to assume that you're not familiar with any of this, and you can always, I'll send you the email and I'll give you my phone number, and if you have any questions, you can get with me. Okay? Sorry, but I'm just scrolling around here. You go down to Course Tools, right? We go to Assignment Manager. And let's just look at my first assignment here. I'm going to go to Settings for Class. And if you notice under Settings for Class, there's this thing called Chapter Associations. And that's what associates a particular assignment with a particular chapter. Right now, this one's associated with Chapter 2. So the first thing you have to do is you have to associate the assignment with whatever chapters you choose to associate it with. All right. Now, let's just look at that. I'm going to hit Change, and there you notice I have Chapter 2 selected. Okay. So if I wanted this associated with Chapter 3, I click on Chapter 3. You can actually associate an assignment with one or more chapters. So if I check off Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, and then I go down, I hit OK. Now, don't forget to do this. You got to hit OK and save it. Now, I saved it. And notice now it says the assignment is associated with chapters 2 and 3. Now, I'm going to go down and hit Save and Assign. Okay, the second save we have to do to make sure we have everything saved, right? Okay, so there we go. Now, I have associated my assignment with the particular chapter or chapters I want it to show up in. So if you have an assignment you want to show up in several different chapters, like I usually put, like if I have a practice final, something like that, some sort of practice assignment that spans over several chapters, I'll actually put it in each one. But let's move on. Let's go back to our main menu, and now we're going to create the folder. Okay, so we'll go to Manage Course. All right, I'm going to add my new folder, and we're going to say maybe chapter. Let's call it my chapter. It's going to be a content page. So my chapter content page, or whatever you want to call it, okay? And then I'm going to put it at the top for now since I'm editing it. And that's usually what I do. So let's just put it as number 1. Let's add it. Okay, so now it's been added. So let's go back to our main menu. And there's my new folder, right? So here's my new folder, has nothing in it. So the very first thing I do is I put in the link to the assignments. And this is how I do it. Let's go to Manage. Now make sure you hit the plain text editor. I do not work with the HTML editor. I always work with plain text editor. So I click on that, hit OK. Now I'm going to go grab the code that's in that Word file. Here's the code in the Word file. I'm going to highlight all of that code. Okay. Okay, and copy it over. Paste it. Now there it is. Now I'm going to save it. Now it's been saved. If I click on my chapter now, there it is. There's the link, and if I click on this link, notice Chapter 2 assignments show up. Okay? Now this is how I change the particular chapter I want to display. I'll go back to Manage View. I like to click on the actual folder link itself first. Manage. I'll make sure I'm working with the plain text editor. That usually comes up, I believe, with the last one you work with. Now, here's where you actually associate it with a particular chapter. You see that 2 right there? If you change that 2, let's say to a 3, okay? Notice I got these little quotation, not quotation, whatever those marks are. But don't you got to make sure you don't mess up with the formatting. You just have to be careful that all you do is change the number. Like I said, that could be a 3, 11, 12, whatever chapter. Okay, you can't do sections like 3.1. That's not going to work. Now I'm going to hit save. Hit OK. Now I'm going to click on my chapter. Notice when I click on the link now, Chapter 3 associations come up. And notice, since I incorporated 2.1 also into Chapter 3, 2.1 shows up. See? And there's Chapter 3. So again, if I go back, whatever I change that number to, that's the particular chapter that's going to show up. All right? Now, once I actually have finished putting in the link, that's when I start formatting my page. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the visual editor. Whenever you switch between the two, if you made changes, you have to make sure you save them. Watch when I click on visual editor. It's going to give me a warning that if I have not saved my changes, I haven't made any, but if I had made some, I better make sure I save them first, and if I did, I can continue on and hit OK. Once I hit OK, if I made changes, I've lost them. So, for example, here's the page now. You can start formatting it. Now, I put the A and B there kind of to give me some, to distinguish between various sections of my page. It's something I do only because of the quirkiness of the editor itself. I don't know how much you've worked with the editor, but I find the editor does some weird things with formatting, and all of a sudden your formatting is out of whack. So I try to identify certain sections. But anyway, I'll show you kind of what I do, and I don't know, you can get rid of this, but I'll just kind of point things out right. So I could create maybe my course title, or chapter title, whatever. Right? This is just practice here. So I can identify, I can put stuff in there, right? Make it bold, center it, that sort of thing. So I can play around with stuff. I can format this if I want to change the formatting of this. Maybe, whatever I want to change it. Okay, change it around. Get rid of the, make it bold or not bold. So you can play around with this. You can change the formatting of it the way you see fit. You can move it around. Okay. If you want to change the name of it, well, this is what I suggest doing. If I want to maybe change this to My Homework 6 or something like that, I never start at the end. I always start somewhere in the middle, away from the end characters, and then I get rid of that lead character. To me, it helps with maintaining the formatting. Again, from my experience with the visual editor, I've had it do many weird things. So again, if I want a 6 at the end, or well, a 2 or a 3, whatever it is, okay, I'll put the 3 there, then I'll get rid of the K at the end. And to me, it helps keep and maintain the formatting. Okay, so you can mess with that. Okay, so don't be concerned. You can't break this thing, obviously. The only thing that's going to happen is your page is just going to have an error message on it saying something went wrong. But there you go. But if I go back to the plain text editor, you have to make sure you save your changes, okay? So I'll hit Save Changes. Okay. And I can go back to my plain text editor if I wanted to. I don't know how much HTML code are you familiar with working with code, but there it is. As you can see, I did a few things here. Somewhere up in here, you should see the course title. There it is, right there, actually. That's where that was inserted. But again, the key thing for you is right here. That work with that number 3 or whatever number you want to make it to be. Now, let's go back to the visual editor. Well, before I go back to the visual editor, see, here's my A, the dashes, and here's my B, the dashes. I use it one. It helps me find particular code, especially if there's a lot of code. It gets me to where I want to be. It helps me find certain things because this becomes a mess. It's hard to visualize and look for stuff at times, as you can tell, right? But you can get rid of the A and the B when you're ready. You can either delete it right here. Let's just get rid of it. Okay, I can just get rid of it right there. Now I'm not going to save this, so it's going to show up still. See, I didn't save it, so I lost my changes, but so that's why the A and the B are still here. Or once you're done, you can just go up in here and hit backspace until you get rid of the A, right? And then you can get rid of the B in a similar fashion. Okay. Again, I just use that to help me delineate certain sections of my page until I'm finished working with them. So I think that's it. I just know I could say a lot about the visual editor, and to me, the quirkiness and the weird things that sometimes happen when you start deleting stuff in here. You know, all of a sudden formatting of other stuff gets out of whack. But there you go. I'm going to send this to you in an email. I'll give you my phone number. You can give me a call, okay, if you have any questions. All right? So I hope this helps.